Hey everybody, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. And today we're talking about a very important topic that I get asked all the time. What are the best areas to invest to in Northwest Arkansas? And all the secrets. Haha. So let's talk about that. But before we begin, if you could like this video and also subscribe, that would make the world of difference. I try to produce as much content as humanly possible about Northwest Arkansas, obviously. Also, if you are thinking about coming down here, you haven't been down here yet to Northwest Arkansas, I made something called the Northwest Arkansas Starter Pack. It sounds exactly what it is. It's a starter pack for and with all of Northwest Arkansas packaged into a little package that comes shipped right to your home. So if you want that package, it is amazing. It comes with itineraries. It comes with all the information about the hospitals, schools, all the cool things to do here during the year, all the cool things that are happening in 2023. So if you want that package, you want to kind of keep like what is going on in Northwest Arkansas, enter your name, obviously, your address below, and I'll ship that package to you right to your home right away. Also, really cool thing, it's my favorite 4-letter F word, free. So enter your information below and I'll make sure to get that package shipped to you right away. All right, so the first thing we need to talk about is how this video is gonna be broken up. This video, first off, is geared really for people that are looking to invest into Northwest Arkansas. So we're talking about high growth or potential high growth areas in the area. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. If I did, would I be here? Who knows? You never know. I could be here. I could have a crystal ball and I know I'm supposed to be here. I don't know. Anyways, a little too futuristic, maybe in the future. But for right now, we're going to talk about the potential high investment areas. These are just things that I believe that potentially could happen. Obviously, I don't know. But we're going to talk about those 3 different areas. The first area is going to be kind of the areas you want to focus on when it comes to roads. The second part of the video is going to be talking about the homes that are focused on with the potential high growth. So those are kind of shown definitely areas of high growth already. And they're kind of samplings of like, yeah, there's going to be some growth here. The third one is kind of Phillip's big bets. And so we're going to break up into those 3 sections. All right, so the first thing we need to talk about when it comes to roads, there's gonna be 3 parts to this. The first part you need to focus on if you are looking to invest in the area, whether it's homes or commercial, but definitely in the home section, whether you're a developer or you want to, buy up some land potentially and just hold on to it for a couple of years. The first section you need to pay attention to is the new bypass that's connected from Bentonville through Bella Vista up to Missouri. So before, if you wanted to make your way down to Northwest Arkansas, you'd have to cut through Bella Vista on 71, and that was a problem. Luckily, 2 summers ago now, they opened up that brand new bypass, and it's obviously a massive highway that cuts right through around Bella Vista. And so obviously, if there's land for sale around that area, just know that, that's eventually going to be a high growth, high residential, high commercial area, because anything that's connected to a major highway, prime real estate, as we know. Before that area was just open land. And so if you're looking to invest in the area, just know that there's gonna be a lot of land available for sale in the next couple of years, holding on to it. Obviously, developers are gonna come through. Maybe you are a developer, but developers might come through and build a commercial, build a residential. So just know that's gonna be a high growth area for that 49 new corridor. Also, we need to talk about the 412, and the 612, the 612, so 412 and 612, which are major highways that are connected in Northwest Arkansas. So the most established one is the 412. I have talked about this on the channel before, but they're between the 412 and Siloam Springs is a high growth area because of the fact that there's gonna be a lot of commerce happening in that area. So the idea is that eventually it's gonna be higher industry and more industrial versus residential, just because there's a lot of industry passing between Northwest Arkansas and Tulsa, Oklahoma, and also Oklahoma City and just that whole corridor out in Oklahoma, because obviously there's major highways out there. So a lot of times what people happen, they'll come down 49 and then over on 412 and then cut through into Tulsa. Obviously there's a lot of connection between Oklahoma and Arkansas, of course. There's a lot of handshakes, a lot of millions of dollars being spent back and forth because there's a big initiative to build out that area. So the next big initiative is going to be building up 412. But on top of that, don't forget about the other one, which is the 612, the 612, which is a dead-end highway they built years ago. And what they're developing is they're actually making that actually connect into XNA, which is the major airport here in Northwest Arkansas, and then drop down over into 412. So it's gonna be basically a bypass, so people don't have to, instead of doing an L, they're gonna do the whole A equals BX2 thing. So they're gonna cut right through on 612 over to 412 and kind of cut out Springdale in the area. So just know that anything around that section is gonna be high growth, leaning more commercial industrial, because it's gonna be highways, you don't always want to build new subdivisions on a highway. Probably not the best choice. So just know that's gonna be more industrial commercial section, but it's gonna be high growth. And the last road we need to talk about in this like section is 112. So 112 runs north and south right along 49, and it usually falls on the west side of 49. It goes all the way from Bentonville down to Fayetteville. And so they're looking to expand that highway essentially and make it just a easier place to transport, because for instance, not everyone wants to get on 49 to back up and over. What the 112 does is kind of solve that problem, just kind of cutting through the certain areas to jump from Fayetteville to 412, from 412 to 612, 612 up to Bentonville. I know it's a lot of things, but they're looking to expand it. And so just know that there's probably gonna be a lot of more residential sections there. It's not gonna be a very high commercial area because it's gonna be easy access for people moving in and out. Now, we'll talk about this a little later in the video, but a lot of the homes have been built around Cave Springs, which 612 kind of cuts through there. So just know that some of the land has been built out, but know there's a lot of talk and money been put into, obviously, bank accounts, obviously for the state itself, to start developing 112 to make it a bigger usable area versus what it is currently. Whoa, before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're using things like Realtor.com or Zillow.com to look at homes around the area, whether for sale or for rent. And you're quickly realizing like the notifications, they're way too slow because they're way too slow. You miss out so many things because they take forever to get to your phone. So I made something called Instant Home Updates, and it sounds exactly what it is. It's literally instant home updates right to your email. So you won't miss a single home for rent or for sale in Northwest Arkansas. So enter your information below: square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, all the interesting things you're looking for in those, for a home for rent or for sale. And I'll make sure you don't miss a single notification when you're looking for a place right in Northwest Arkansas. Also, every single Friday, I send an email out just kind of talking about what's going on in Northwest Arkansas. So if you want to keep with all the cool things that are happening here, all the new businesses, all the new comedians, when is the Walmart Amphitheater going to release their whole lineup for 2023? It's going to be bonkers for all the musicians that are coming here. If you want to know all the cool things that are happening in Northwest Arkansas, Christmas, spring, summer, all the cool things, enter your email below and I'll make sure that you get that email starting every single Friday. Little side note, you might get a little fear of missing out, a little FOMO, because you're gonna quickly realize like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on here. But I do promise you'll be the most informed person eventually when you make your way down to Northwest Arkansas. All right, well, let's jump on to number 2 and my favorite part about the actual cities that are growing in Northwest Arkansas that you should be looking into. And the first area we need to talk about is Farmington. Now, Farmington has seen a massive growth from last couple of years from what it was to what it is now. I would say it's probably the one that it's definitely a good span of potential growth, obviously, but it's grown quite a bit the last couple of years. So there is definitely some growth that has happened, but there's still a lot of growth to happen in Farmington. Really, Farmington has a great school system. It's right next to Fayetteville. There's actually you literally sometimes don't even know when you're passing from Fayetteville to Farmington. So just know that there's a lot of growth happening here. It's going to be a much more affordable area to live next to Fayetteville versus Fayetteville proper. It kind of blends between West Fayetteville and also Farmington. So just know there's still a lot of land to be developed, both commercially as well as residentially. So in the next couple of years, that's gonna be a great place to obviously invest into because of the connection to Fayetteville. Also, the connection point is really close to 49. So super close to 49, within 5 to 7 minutes tops from Farmington to 49. So super easy access. And that's what's going to drive a lot of the growth, is because of 49, Fayetteville, also the major highway that runs through Farmington. It's called MLK Main Street, but it's a 5-lane highway that connects directly from Farmington to 49. Also, they're building a massive new addition to MLK near Fayetteville. So there's gonna be loop-de-loops, all sorts of easy connections to make sure that kind of junction point onto 49 happens. So it's easy access for everyone. Also, right next door, we're going to talk about Prairie Grove. Prairie Grove is definitely on that high growth pattern. Now, it's also feeding off Fayetteville. It's feeding off Farmington. Also, it has MLK running right through it because it's right next to Farmington. That highway runs directly down through Prairie Grove. So Prairie Grove is on a high growth pattern as well. Has not seen the growth that Farmington has. And I think part of it is because of a little bit longer distance to 49, a little bit longer distance to Fayetteville. So a lot of times if people, have jobs at Tyson, JB Hunt, or some of the startups or Walmart, a lot of times they don't want to live in Prairie Grove because of the distance sometimes. But obviously there's a lot of business in Fayetteville, a lot of business in Springdale, a lot of business in Rogers. And so the distance from Prairie Grove to those areas, not that far, not that hard. And so with all the improvements that are happening, Prairie Grove is looking to grow exponentially in the next couple of years for sure. Also, number 3, a part of this is, I kind of mentioned this before, but Cave Springs is on a high growth pattern as well. Now, the asterisk here is that Cave Springs is connected to XNA, so that whole junction right there. There's been a lot of developments in XNA for the last couple of years, a lot of brand new roads, and also talks about, roads being through there, 112. So a lot of land has been bought up and developed to some extent, but there are a lot of outreaching areas that still could happen. It's not the top of my list, but just know that Cave Springs is a lot. There's a lot of talk around Cave Springs, and there's more expensive homes around there, but it's going to gear more towards commercial just because of obviously the influx of airplanes and people coming through the area. So just know there's a lot of development happening in Cave Springs around the 612 XNA area. And number 4 on this list is one of my personal favorites, Pea Ridge. The reason I love Pea Ridge, and I think it's going to be a high growth area, and it's already kind of seeing that already, is the fact that, Walmart has placed their drone delivery service. That's one of the core places they put it there, one of the first only 2, Farmington and Pea Ridge. But also beyond that is that it's right next to Bentonville. So one easy road connects right to Bentonville. So it's maybe a 10-minute drive, maybe 12 from Pea Ridge, where it depends on where you end up, but Pea Ridge to Bentonville. So just know that it's super close connected. It's going to be a feed off of Bentonville. Also really close to Bella Vista. So you kind of get the best of both worlds between obviously Bella Vista trail systems, Bentonville trail systems, Bentonville downtown. So just know it's kind of like just a little bit of an offshoot, and there's obviously a lot of development happening now, but just know that there's a lot of development happening in the future. So if you're looking to invest, don't forget about Pea Ridge. And last for this second part of the list is Siloam Springs. So Siloam Springs has been this off in the distance kind of child, sister, so to speak, brother, and so to speak, in the corner of Northwest Arkansas. The reason that Siloam Springs is definitely on the upswing is because 412 has brought in a lot of attention to Siloam Springs, the university that's been there for a while, of course. But on top of that, 412 has just brought so much business to actual Siloam Springs. Now, hopefully in the future, they fix the roundabout that goes around Siloam Springs. I'm sure they will. I haven't heard any plans. Maybe they're working on it. I'm sure they are. But once 412 is kind of completed to cut through Siloam Springs and then go around it as a highway versus, it's kind of weird, but eventually that leads to the Oklahoma Turnpike, which is obviously a major highway. So once they figure that out, Siloam Springs is going to grow exponentially. There's a lot of development there now. Home prices in Siloam Springs are very cheap. And I know that obviously it's going to rise in the next couple of years. The only caveat to one of the caveats to Siloam Springs is that it is a distance to Northwest Arkansas, even though it's part of it, that if you work in Springdale, great, not a problem. But if you want to enjoy some of the things like Bentonville, it's going to be a little hard until they fix a major road to go from Siloam Springs to Bentonville. I'm sure they will in probably the 5 to 10 year plan, but at the moment, there's no real direct connection to Siloam Springs to Bentonville or Siloam Springs to Fayetteville. Fayetteville's easier to get to than Bentonville, but just know it's a little bit of a hike than usual, than you would expect just from in Northwest Arkansas. All right, we're kind of finishing up this video with Phillip's big bets. So my big bets for probably growth in the next probably 5 years is going to be, the first one we're talking about is Gravette. So Gravette is right off of 49 on the brand new section of 49. So obvious reasons right there. Easy access to Bentonville, easy access to Bella Vista, easy access to land. And so as long as you have that kind of easy access to 49, Gravette's going to grow exponentially the next couple of years. I'm sure that land is going to be developed and bought out, and obviously new subdivisions, new commercial space. So obviously Gravette's going to do very well with that. So that's kind of my big bet for the first one. The second big bet is also connected to 49, which is West Fork. West Fork sits about maybe 7 to 10 minutes south of Fayetteville, like the south part of Fayetteville, and so it's easy access from West Fork to Fayetteville. Now I think that in the next couple of years, obviously there's gonna be some more developments in West Fork and some more land being bought out. The problem that's gonna be with West Fork is that south of Fayetteville, you start getting real mountainous. And so to find flat land that's developable is a little challenging around the outskirts of West Fork. So that's gonna be the problem. I don't know if West Fork will have its growth like Gravette will, because Gravette's flatter, more usable, more developable, whereas West Fork is more tree, more mountainous. So you might not see the huge growth that you will see like a Gravette area. So keep that in mind, but I do bet that West Fork will grow just because it's more affordable, it's smaller size. People from Fayetteville might want to go more south into the mountains. So just know that West Fork is on the big bets, but not the same way that Gravette will. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are thinking about coming down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itinerary link below. Maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids. There's an itinerary for you. So go ahead and download it and use it when you get down here. Also, when you get down here, I can give you the $10 tour so I can kind of show you around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar will go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, let's see you in the next one.